Hi, my name is Sam. This is Nothing Definitive. Today I want to talk about objective or observable, like summary viewpoints of your own behavior. Okay, so hopefully I can convey this correctly. Um, the other day I was, I kind of had like one of these sort of like automated thoughts. It's your behavior, right? Just something that you do, kind of automated, a way that you think about the world. Um, and I caught myself in the moment and kind of reeled it back, and of course thoughts happen really quickly. So this was just like a boom realization, and it just occurred to me. But I'll try and explain it. Basically, what happened was I was able to take a step back and kind of objectively outline some observations about my own behavior, my own thoughts, and the way that I act out in the world. And I kind of saw this list in front of me. And I was able to I was able to view that list from the perspective of how I imagine a different person might see it, and specifically a person who is like counter to me, someone who lives in a different world than myself, not someone who would agree with me, but someone who would call me out on my behavior. So I imagined it from that perspective, and this sort of like summary viewpoint, this objective list of observations about my behavior revealed to me a painful truth. And that's that in that moment, I had this sort of elitist thought about how I see myself as an intellectual, and I was observing this other person out in the world, and I had this classic roll my eyes like, ugh, come on, man. Yeah, and that ability to have that summary view caught me and went. I guess it challenges me to the point where I second guessed whether or not that automated behavior is correct or accurate or acceptable. Because even if my viewpoint in the context of a bunch of other people, there might be other people that would sit down and go, yeah, you're actually right. That the thing that person did was really stupid. But that's not necessarily, socially acceptable or morally acceptable. And so it challenges you on kind of all these different fronts, and makes you, I think, kind of painfully in a way, accept that you're this mortal, flawed human being, and that you have all these sort of automated behaviors that are actually not that great. They're the things that other people see that are invisible to you most of the time. That shines kind of a negative light on you. That it's the reasons that some people don't like you. Hopefully that makes sense. I guess if I was going to try and tell you how to do it, I think the first step is probably like brutal honesty in a way. You have to be able to catch yourself. I guess the first step would be to catch yourself in a moment where you kind of know, right? You're thinking something that isn't positive, that would hurt the feelings of another person, right? And then you have to be able to kind of take a step back and see yourself, see your thought process, see the related actions and behaviors that you take out in the world, and kind of observe them. I mean, it's obviously through your imagination, but you need to observe them, put them on a list, and then think about a person who is different from you. In this case, it was like, I think it was kind of like the thought of like a friendly, happy, hippie type of person who's really accepting and loving and welcoming. That, which doesn't make me sound so great, because that's the opposite of me. But that's the person that I envisioned, like this really friendly person, and I was being a jackass in this moment. And that person saw that behavior, that summary behavior, and called me out on it, and allowed me from that moment to analyze it, think about it. It caught me. It stopped me. And from that moment on, I can challenge it. I can revise how I am as a person. I can take that information to heart and think about it and change my future behavior. It's not going to be perfect. Most likely, I won't be able to just overwrite that automation and just be a new person. But catching those things on a regular basis, changing them over and over and over again, catching yourself, you'll do it again and again and again, but eventually you'll start to interrupt all these processes and replace them with things that are more positive, more friendly, more noble, and that's all good things in my opinion. So yeah, that's all I got. Hopefully that made sense. Yeah, thanks for watching.